Hello, everyone. Waiting for my Wi-Fi to go live. Hi, my name is Chris Farrell. Welcome to my channel where I'm putting on my Do Not Disturb because we are here to talk about sister wives. So, listen, do I have a more throaty voice happening? Yes. Is it because Sister Wives is nothing if not intoxicatingly sexual? Of course. Of course. One can, can't merely see Cody without smelling his like BO and pheromones throughout, your own living room. You're like, how'd you get in here? And it's that strong. He's that viral. He's that masculine. That's with him. So, no, just kidding. But I feel like maybe just like seasonally, there's something happening. Hi. I'm so happy to hang out with you guys as we talk about this dumb show, which I really enjoyed this episode. Guess what? It's funny because as we get into Sister Wives, this is season 20, episode 5, Kissin' Another Man's Wife. I like to see what the streets are saying, and the streets being Reddit, which is for some reason the only internet website I can tolerate right now in the world, algorithm wise, or what I can do. It's what I can do right now. So having said that, people don't like Mary for various reasons. Definitely people don't like Cody and Robin, for sure. People have mixed feelings about Christine. She, I feel like, was at one point a saint, and now people are like whatever about her. And people are a little bit mixed about Janelle, but I think Janelle has the most amount of fans. So in this episode, it's pretty much, and as the season's gone on, I realize, thusly, I will now organize and coordinate each recap to be like the couples or the people in their respective units, right? They're no longer a big family. It's obviously Cody and Robin, and then it's Christine and Janelle, and then it's Mary, or Mary and Jen. And Jen's husband, who is incredibly like generous, or he has other things happening because that man's just going to be like, "What wife?" Only because Mary, in the way they're like, and I'm going to start with her. As I'm now saying, I'm going to organize each like recap kind of by like talking about her full storyline, as opposed to trying to go back and forth between people. Hi, Jessie J. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. Yay. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Happy Halloween weekend. If you haven't yet, come in, like the video, turn on the little like button by thumbsing it up. Thumbs it up. Just telling that algorithm, hey girl, hey, hi, and then we'll dive in. I hope you guys are having like a lovely end to your October. If you watched 90 Day Fiance the other way, I did that recap yesterday. And then today's Wednesday, which means Love is Blind dropped their finale. Right now it's 2:00 on the West Coast, so I haven't watched it yet. Evening, Mustang Sally. Okay, evening, honey. Honey, evening. Bonsoir. Or I guess if you're watching Toe, as Anthony would say in France, bonsoir. You know. Okay, give me a second. I just realized my dad got me out of. What's really annoying is Netflix only allows you to, obviously look at certain things. So I think that I'm sorry, all that I took a moment to see if Netflix had dropped Love is Blind, because I think it drops like at, early on Wednesday. So it should already be up, meaning you can watch it and we'll do a live at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I liked that because regardless if this tell all of Love is Blind is good or bad, probably it's going to be bad. I mean, just depending on the fact that the whole season was bad, as I say, like there's no love to be had. At least that, it'll be like a little Halloweeny. I don't quite have plans. I'm definitely not dressing up as anyone. I kind of want to be low key. Halloween is sort of like New Year's Eve to me. in that I always want something great. I always wanna be invited somewhere great, comfortable, kind of luxurious, kind of elegant, where I can dress the F up and be, in a beautiful environment where drinks are flowing and seats are easy to get and it's not too loud and parking wasn't horrible and the people aren't squishy, all of that. Like, I mean, not squishy. Their own bodies can be any amount of whatever squish. But what I'm saying is I don't want there to be packed bodies in a space so that I am squished just by the sheer amount of people. So again, it's like the dream is for Halloween to be just like invited to some like fancy ass masquerade or some sexy ass, costume ball or something like that or whatever. Maybe you wear those masks with lace on them or something like that. And maybe there's like, a bullish rooms and maybe there's an orgy. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Well, your fantasy is whatever it is. And my fantasy is obviously what I just stated. But New Year's Eve, it feels the same way where you kind of want, again, like a New Year's Eve ball to go to and you get to dress up and you probably wear blacks and metallics, or white or cream. I don't know. One of those, just like celebratory end and beginning kind of things. And yeah, it's kind of the same thing where, you do drink or not drink but just be in a beautiful environment or get fucked up in whatever kind of way you want or not, or just be around people that you enjoy. Maybe there's dancing, but there's always going to be like good parking and it's going to be easy to get to. And it's always going to be a lovely group of people where sensorily it's inviting and not overwhelming. So it's either that or nothing. And so what I'm trying to say is most years, nothing. All right. 7 minutes. Okay, let's get in. I'll try and make a note to make a marker. Hi, guys. Okay, kissing another man's wife. We start with Mary. It's an opening shot, probably like what's going to be, if not now, in a couple of weeks, of skiing in Parowan, Utah. It looks beautiful. Here's the thing: has Mary ever skied? I don't know. I'm sure like the kids ski, but for we never really saw them do like ski trips. Also, skiing is very expensive, and all those kids, all the equipment. So I can see that maybe more like just throw them down a hill like in a tube. Um, but then we pull up on Dee's Farmhouse Cafe, which is charming, a charming Parowan small business. This small business has taken it upon itself to go full fucking Christmas out. I mean, like, hi, a ho ho ho, all the kitsch, just all the garlands. I mean, yeah, like it's adorable. I think that like low key, Parowan, Utah is charming and is an interesting kind of like weird city, eccentric in some way, also super traditional in some ways, that if they could somehow lean into Mary's storyline being less about Mary and Jen and more like Parowan and Mary, like it should be like Sex in the City. It should be like Mary and Parowan, but more Parowan with some Mary in it. Because I think that like this Dee's play sounds kind of crazy. And I feel like there's probably characters left and right. And I feel like there's probably like some dude somewhere that does something weird that like Mary's going to be really into, like just under her nose. I wonder if we can lean. Mary wants, obviously, as a tall man. She's been somewhat redundant, like she wants him tall. So where's like the Parowan basketball coach? I mean, I'm just spitballing here as like a natural kind of like curious person of people. Like if I was a producer on Sister Wives, I'd be like, let's see what's happening with like, I don't know, some taller dudes in Parowan. What do they do? Is there like insurance salesman people that are like divorced? You know? Mary has some things going for her. She has gorgeous eyes. She has a story to tell. And she's definitely has more personality than other people. Like I would obviously be in a car with her night and day over Robin, you know. I would have to like probably be like super inebriated. I don't know. I would have to like, with Mary, I think because she's a little intense, I would have to like put on some earbuds or something to like tune her out. But at the same time, Robin has no personality. We give her that. Mary does. So I think that like she needs a little more. But at the same time, we just get this brunch where she gets a text from Logan, and Logan's like, "Hey, will you share with us that candy cane recipe?" And Mary's like, "Oh, back in the days, I would let them come into my kitchen and make candy canes." And that in itself, I was like, you would let them come into your kitchen? What an interesting thing to say. Because it's like the kids, they have to be like right at the precipice of like where the tile meets the carpet and be like, "Ms. Mary, may we step foot inside the kitchen?" Like it just seems, doesn't that seem weird? I would let them inside the kitchen. If there's a thing, and maybe it is, where like there's so many kids and so they're just gonna like ransack everything. Cause like it feels like, okay, it feels like we heard low key that Robin was sort of miserly. No, she was kind of stringent on like what the kids could eat or whatnot at her house. And like it seems like Mary being like, I allowed them entry into my kitchen to make this one candy cane, one every child once a year, sounds a little funny. Um, I never made candy canes. I never thought to make candy canes. For some reason, I never really think to make candy, although I love caramel and I certainly love toffee and I certainly love nuts. And like a combination of all of those, sounds good all the time. I almost don't want to learn how to make it so I don't fucking learn how to make it good. But I know how to make, I mean, this is not the hardest, but have you ever just fucking gotten a date, like a medjool date, cut down the middle, put crunchy peanut butter in it, crunchy peanut butter. And then you can either like freeze it, put it in the refrigerator, put a little like chocolate or cacao powder or something on it. I mean, that shit's good. Okay. I was also just low key happy to hear Logan's name. And I almost feel like Mary name dropped Logan, knowing that it would make her look cool. She was like, "Oh, just got a text from Logan." Remember him, guys? We all loved Logan. See, Logan still likes me. Logan still texts me. Logan is not afraid of me, Mary. Other people, not so much. Maddie. McKelty also, according to, I think, Gwendolyn, had like a physical altercation by Mary, So, okay. So Mary takes that moment to update Jen about Coyote Pass, which is that, guess what? No update, still the same. Not doing one thing different. He hasn't changed any of the titles. Cody knows that his name is on everything, that Mary's name is on basically nothing. And he has to just put everyone's name on everything, and he hasn't done it. Also, Mary brings up this other point, which is like, annoying. We've heard this before, but to like have to keep track of this family's finances and lack thereof, like organizational and law aspects, is annoying. It's like a math problem they keep wanting us to do, but basically it's so annoying, right? Okay. Because the parcels in Coyote Pass is all one thing. Because they kept showing us that name plot thing where it's like Cody Robin, this thing, then Cody Janelle Robin, whatever. Like, okay. That was all annoying, and because I can't do percentages. But then basically Mary's like, well, then there's the thing where Christine didn't even want part of that. So she gave up. No, she took the proceeds. Yeah. She took the proceeds of her home, willy-nilly just took it, and instead gave up her parcelage just to Cody and Robin, but like not to the entire family. And even when that was talked about, it wasn't like that was talked about with the entire family. She talked about that with Cody, to get the fuck out of the situation with Cody. And obviously Cody is booed up with Robin. And so like that's how it went down. And here we are. So yeah, it's obviously messy. And there's a word, I mean, yeah, the forensic accounting of that is like the reason why I think I don't do math. Like I get overwhelmed even thinking about it. And like I don't know how to get past the overwhelmedness. I have to take it back, take a breath. I want you to know, like, if you are the kind of mind that has watched this with all the graphs I've talked to you about and like knows almost percentage wise how to move things around or what things could have done to make it equal, or like tell me if you think you know that, or like if there's a way. Okay. At this point, because of the fact that Cody hasn't got off his ass to do anything, Jen is like, well, you listen, you need to end your nice girl era. And Mary is given like bitch lessons by Jen. And we get Mary kind of being like told and then leaning into saying things like, comb your fucking hair, Cody. She loves that. And then also, bitch, where's my money? Which is like, hey, dirty, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry. Said, hey, or Rihanna. Um, Bitch better have my money. I feel like either one would be great. It's nice to hear any of the ladies curse. It's very fun. Like, obviously, when Janelle told Cody to shut the fuck up, it was like, I felt like Matrix moment where I could bend my body back in time slow-mo and then just like lay there as I let it wash over me that I got to hear that. Mary is obviously more vocal, and Christine will say fuck now, but they really relish it when they do. I can hear it, and it makes me happy for them. Um, the next scene for Mary is that she has to go to New York for work. Selling LaRuru? LaRuru? Not LaBubu. LaLaRue? Honey, what? We know what your work is either like what we're watching you do right now, the bed and breakfast, or the MLM, which makes me feel like it's the MLM, which is, yeah, it's always interesting now because it's the second episode in a row where I feel like the women have referenced this work. Because remember, I'm bringing up how Christine talked about how in last episode, her and Janelle used to work on a business together, but that Janelle, having moved, was focusing on the farm and they had to like thusly separate their businesses, and they never talked about what that was. And we certainly were like privy to the gym and my sister's closet and all that stuff. So we also know that, and I brought this up, for a reality show person to be on a TV makes you feel like they would want to talk about their business because it might give them more business. But for legality reasons or because they know it looks bad and for so many reasons that I might not know, they don't. So Plexus, whatever, wasn't talked about last episode. I'm assuming that that's the business and work that she has to do in New York. But she's like, I'll tell you the real work. I want to meet men. I want to meet New York men, honey, on the street. And so what does she do? Does she get a new fresh haircut and some good clothes that make her feel different and new and kind of like sexy and like hit the town as a single woman? She brings her friend Jen, her married friend, whose husband is like only, I guess, too happy to be like, yeah, get out of the house. I mean, is Mary really codependent? Don't answer that. Yeah, right? I mean, they couldn't even like, I guess it's funny because I just literally talked about how she could have a moment, how it'd be like Sex in the City and was Parowan in the city because I think Parowan is interesting. But the girls in New York, I just can't believe that like even then they were like, and bring Jen. She can't experience anything without Jen. Jen filters the life through so that she has like a best friend. I mean, it's like, yeah. Anyway, having said that, it would, because it would have also been a hilarious storyline for Mary to have to do something scary by herself. I think it would have been like almost truthful, almost authentic for her to have to like be forced to walk to the West Village by herself, like go into like a cafe and like sit by herself, like maybe take a book, and maybe that's not her New York life. Cause obviously with Jen, they go to what looked like they went, okay, one part is a beautiful like New York Christmas market, but then they seem to have stumbled upon like a winter wonderland activation site that they were like so happy about. Now, one part of my producer brain's like, great, this place obviously set up by the producers, gave them access and, signed away, which is one thing. But the other thing is like, oh my God, You're gonna go to New York, and then you're gonna spend time like in like a fake warehouse wonderland that's not even outdoors. That's just like a child's ball pit, like a fancy Chuck E. Cheese, like a Christmas themed Chuck E. Cheese in New York. I mean, 'tis the season. Oh my God. Let's talk about it. Honey, walk down Fifth Avenue. Just look at the Ralph Lauren display. Like, get a little coffee at that place. Oh my God. It's like this is too fancy, but it's like it's not expensive. Like they should just, yeah, you just Lincoln Center or just that Christmas market outdoors looked beautiful. I'm almost like, could you spend more time out there? Don't go to this fake weird place. Did she see a Broadway show? She could have seen what? Oh, Mary. Why not make Mary go to New York and see Oh, Mary, which of course is a very funny musical. Spoiler alert, I did invest in it, so you should go see it. It's Cole Scola's work, playwright and original Broadway star. It's like a campy show right now. Jane Krakowski's in it, and I would die to see it. But Titus did it. Jinx Monsoon did it. Like, it's okay. Betsy Gilpin, there's a lot of people who've done the role. Every person's going to be hilarious because it's really great, fun writing and dumb funny. All that to say, Mary's dumb funny. Okay. So I also need to see Mary flirting. There's bars, there's people and stuff like that. She talks about meeting men on the street. Like, I literally need to see the cameraman walk down with Mary to the subway and watch her on the subway. Come on. Okay. So, and listen, and if Jen has to film it on an iPhone for it to be legal, then fine, that's why Jen's there. But set this up better for me, producers. Give me more interesting things, because you have to understand Mary's a certain kind of person, and there will be comedy coming from fish out of water that's genuineness, because New York is a whole vibe. Also, yeah, I would love to see her at what I'm assuming is some conference for the leggings where she's awarded some badge, or maybe a Hawaiian trip, like Mary Kay. Maybe some people get cars. Okay, so during this time, though, we do get this moment where Jen's like, "Look, I'm all you have," and Mary's like, "I know." And maybe they're saying this for us, like me, like Chris. She's all I have. Okay, so that's why she's here, because it was only her. Because as you see, everyone else had someone, and I have no one. It's Jen. If it wasn't for Jen, who knows? So, but Jen was the first person that was like, "Hey, have you ever solo traveled?" And Mary's like, "Solo hulos?" And she's like, "No, it's when you go out by yourself." And Mary has never, which is probably why she can't do what I said, walk down to Joseph Leonard in the West Village and sit by herself at the bar or whatever and just live her life, which is so sad. What a great life. If you can do that, it's fun. But Mary was forced, or I guess encouraged by Jen, to go to Lake Havasu. And she's like, "Okay, I'll do it," and managed one night by herself. She was weirded out by it. It's interesting because I wanted her to elaborate, what weirded you out? You were just in a different space. You felt anxious. You felt antsy. You wondered what all the other people were doing. You wondered if Cody was going to be spending more time with Christine, and you were upset about that. What kept you from enjoying yourself in the present space and time? That's, yeah, something kept her from enjoying herself in the present moment. And that could be worrying about the future, or having anxiety about the past, or, so many things. So I think it would have been great if she had a little moment of extra awareness and wherewithal to decipher why that was hard, and also fight against that, because literally she's not even solo traveling now. Okay, I'll stop beating a dead horse, but you know what I'm saying? Okay. However, I will say that also upon this note that again, Mary only had Jen. They do a little round robin where Christine agrees. Christine's like, "Yeah, Yeah, she only had Jen. And I get it. That must have been really hard. Christine does a really good job, and Janelle does too, but not as good as Christine, and almost in a therapeutic way, like she's done therapy, of somehow trying to at least let us know she knows it's important to hold space for other people's experience and empathy for other people. Like, it must have been hard for Mary in some ways. And Christine can sort of obviously acknowledge that. And there's not a lot of times I feel like Mary does that for other people. And certainly there's not a lot of time in which Cody does that for other people. And Robin, I mean, Robin can't see past like her nose. It's so crazy. Robin's whole like manifesto that people wronged her and went against God slash family covenant by not standing up for their own heart and respect and dignity and human experience to find actual genuine love and connection on this earth instead of watching someone else like rub theirs in their faces is such a weird chip missing in Robin to not have that empathy. Like I won't ever get over it, right? So yeah, only because when something okay, I'll stop. When something great happens to you, like think about the times in which you've got like the great things you've accomplished. Maybe you won something, maybe something went your way, maybe you worked for something and it all happened or it happened even better than, or maybe if you're married to the love of your life. Like there's so many things you can think about that's happened well in your life that you like are appreciative of, and that in turn knowing that someone else in your immediate circle doesn't have that thing, and that you can't comprehend the hurt and pain that person would feel if they only could celebrate your big win of that, knowing they'll never have that is such a fucked up thing to just make someone experience. It's almost like a torturer. So in that way, anyway, I don't like Robin. um, so Having said that, let's move on to Christine and Janelle. So Christine and Janelle are back in North Carolina where everyone is pretty much congregating. I feel like I wonder if Christine will move there. Now, where Christine lives is beautiful. And certainly I don't think she wants to live there. And she's already said that she doesn't want to live there. I know that, except that we're right now in this year. And as time goes on, things change. And I think that Christine is someone whose mind can change. But back in North Carolina, we're of course at Maddie and Caleb's. We now get all the fun friends. We have Caleb, Gwen, Truly, Peyton, of course, is already living there. McKelty, Christine, and David, they all gather. David, at this point, as they're walking in, for a moment, makes me feel like he sounds like Tony. Basically, what happens is, they got that Christmas tree off of the land that they have put at the front of the door. And next to the Christmas tree is a big ball. And Christine's like, that's a cannonball. It's a vintage cannonball from the Civil War. What is it? World War II? I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know where it's from. They said the war, and I'm saying it right now, but it's like, World War II is what I thought they said, but then I'm like, but it wasn't we didn't get it on the land. Was this a cannonball that just was in the army at the time? That was this something that the Americans shot on a different continent? Or did I mishear that wrong and was it Civil War? So listen, did I do all the copious notes? No, I wrote down cannonball. But I also wrote down that David is dubious. Yeah, David, who sounds like Tony, is like, is that a cannonball? Is that a cannonball? There's something kind of Tony and him both have this roundness in their throat. I mean, I didn't literally like articulate a word just now, but it's like this, is that a cannonball? Now, I did it 3 times in a row, and each time you've heard it, you're like, "No, that wasn't it, Chris," and that's even worse, and don't you do it if fuck you did it again, Chris, and I'll stop doing it, but, like, you have I want if you can isolate what sounds like, "Oh," something's, like, happening, it's such an interesting sound, I can't quite do it, or even really, like, tell you what's happening. It's like constriction and or opening of the larynx and throat, the back of the throat. That sounds interesting, and it must be somewhat regional. So you tell me if like because Tony has a whole ass weird ass voice. Okay, we can know that. And by the way, so do I. By the way, so do a lot of people. It's very specific. I don't mind it. I like it because I can talk about it because I think that, it's so specific. Anyway, yeah, Caleb supposedly is a liar. And David knows it. And Christine's like, no, Caleb wouldn't lie. Maddie and Caleb don't lie. I'm Christine. I know. Foot down. That's a cannonball. It's vintage cannonball. They got it from who knows, Canada. I don't know. Is that where the cannonballs come from? I'm Christine. And they're like, okay. So then basically David has to call Caleb out and be like, what the fuck? Dude, what's that? What is that? And Caleb like smirks. And he's like, nah, it's a malamine. Mine. And then he describes what that is, which anyway, so we get this beautiful shot. I get a lot of fun shots of during this family get together. Here are the moms. Janelle has a sweatshirt hoodie that says Merry Christmas. The Merry is Christmas tartan. Almost looks like Canva word art where it's like big block lettering for the Merry and a beautiful cursive in white, almost like neon and everything. Christine has a joy to the world and a ho ho ho, almost also tartane, if not giving almost winter wonderland snow globe vibes kind of. And it's just the mother's mothering. This is what they've been knowing. They like each other. This is how they've spent time together. The kids love it. It feels safe, good, comfortable, as if there's an anchor to a ship, which I think is like Janelle touches upon her enjoyment of traditions in this way. And I really do too. And even now, so Christine and Janelle give grace to Mary and Robin's contributions to the Christmas family spirit tradition culture, which, is one thing for us. And I'm sure like in a Mormon, whatever, Mormon fundamentalist way, those things also are just at high regard, of, I think, speaking from a third part of view. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Of course, I don't know about their culture, but what I'm assuming is that the traditions around Christmas and having like a certain pious respect to do them and to honor them, this is what happens every time. I think that there's a part of like the family infrastructure that even now, as there's no longer a family, I like the fact that Christine and Janelle are like, look, Mary made the fucking pajamas. Every Christmas, Mary would make all the kids' pajamas. And then after a while, she couldn't make those fucking pajamas before. And I was like, yeah, can you imagine? What is she like? Julie Andrews and Sound of Music? Is it just like every day she has to think, or every year have to think about how she's going to get all the same fabric, pull down the drapes? Oh my God, how to sew that? I mean, I wonder if it takes her no time. She should, instead of selling leggings from some dumb company that like is a pyramid scheme, why doesn't she just make her own clothes? If she can fucking sell pajamas, I would rather make like I would spend money on supporting a reality star's handmade and or like designed from having been someone who could sew simple pajamas than someone's MLM legging empire leggings. Also, I love a Marmy pajama. Oh my God. I mean, this is the perfect fucking time of year to go to like the old Vermont country store website and get a pair of flannel pajamas or just one of those nightgowns that are just so marmy, just so grandma. Maybe it has like a frilly lace doily kind of neck. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that, like, yes. And then there's like matching socks. 'Tis the season. If Mary put out a line of that shit, I'd be so into it. Which, I mean, listen, maybe that's what Janelle and Maddie are setting up for. It's like I know that that farm site has some like dinky shirts that look like they've just been pressed with the logo. But could you imagine if you could actually design your own clothing company? You know, like in the culture and or brand that we've known you to be, and you've already set up things like family tradition, Christmas pajamas. Christmas pajamas and family pajamas is like a huge, well, okay, huge, like is an industry. Like Papanel does it and Macy's does it. Like Kohl's does it. Like every year you see lines of department stores and different clothing lines that do like multi-generational and or gender clothing, Christmas pajamas. I said Vermont County Store, which certainly does them. Keel, James Patrick, like something like that. Anyway, they won't do it. They won't listen to me. It's so sad. David is now right about the cannonball. And we get, because we've been teased about it, a kind of annoying scene where David's to Janelle's like, hey, babe, have you tried out that farmers only it up? And she's like, no, not for me. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm over it. I feel like Janelle is just like, succumb to Maddie being truly the matriarch of the family. And I think that that is a little bit low key what Christine has had an issue with, because it's not about Christine versus Janelle, I think, as much as it's about Christine versus Janelle and Maddie. And where, you know, because Maddie and the kids are so close and they kind of trust each other in a way as victims of this trauma, in a way that it's hard to 100% trust their parents, who were in a low key way all co conspirators of the family. It must be in a complex, interesting relationship each one has with Cody and their biological mom and their non biological mom, and what happened and what was allowed because no one knew better or was allowed to be better or was living in fear or ignorance at the time. And then having your peer level people that were just experiencing the same whatever with you that you can trust, because maybe there were times that, like, yeah, Logan, like Logan and Maddie were like, is Mary weird sometimes? Just, it's Mary weird. I don't want to say anything because it's like we don't want to get in trouble being like going against mom, and we definitely can't tell dad because he just whatever. But sometimes we wonder, is this like a weird thing, and is this normal for people to treat us this way? Or, and in those like conversations, there must have been just like a security and trust level that transcends the parents, because the other thing, of course, that we know, because I'm sure we've experienced it because we're like all adults, is that at some point you realize your parents are adults, are humans, in fact, like not gods. And that's a whole fucked up thing too. So maybe there's a lot of moments where some of these kids are like, oh my God, my mom and my dad aren't gods. They're also, my idea of God and religion isn't probably what it was when I was growing up, and everything I knew probably feels different. And who did I love and who clinged to me and who saw me as a child? Probably this and that sibling and that sibling. Okay. So Maddie holds a lot of safety for a majority of the members of the family. And as much as Christine wants to be that, I think just by the sheer nature of how things went down, she's not. Maddie is, the matriarch of the family. As I've said, Janelle knows that. Janelle may or may not get married or have a love affair again. I certainly hope she does. But she would also have to just not be on a farm the whole time, unless there are some really handsome elder ranch people around, and maybe they are. So Christine, having not really, been into the candy canes or the pajama making of Mary or Robin's bread. They talk about Robin's bread being great. I think it was like was it butternut squash bread? I wanted it to be like just sourdough bread because the new kind of realm of Mormon TikTok and Instagram influencers be bacon bread. So Christine does sugar cookies, and I like sugar cookies. Kids love sugar cookies. To bake them and be able to decorate them, it's always fun. And also, sugar cookies are yummy. Everyone loves sugar cookies, unless you're Teresa Dudite, and then do not bring them to her house. They end on Christine sort of obnoxiously, but whatever, trying to get into the Christmas spirit of making everyone sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" in a round. Janelle's like, mm-mm. Now it's going horribly. There's certain songs you can sing it around, and there's certain songs you can't. And I kept going over why is this sounding so poorly? It's she'd be she was a little conductor. She's like, okay, follow me. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I said Christmas, by the way. I'll do it again. We wish you a Merry Christmas. And then she'd point, and then they'd be like, we wish you, and then it just never got in. I realized I can't do it by myself. I would have had to record myself and then play it. It never sounded right. And people knew immediately that it didn't sound right. And she kept making them restart at the exact same place. And they were like, nah, I think there's something wrong in the formula. Can we go back to the drawing board, maybe pick a different song? I think Silent Night's one of those good ones. I think you can be like, Silent Night, Holy Night, oh, and then when those people go up to the oh, and you can start another Silent Night. And then so when those people from the highs come back down, the people that were doing the first, 8 notes down go up, and it sounds pretty. Does that make sense? Listen, honey, guess who didn't go and get her MFA in music? I can't read notes, but you know what I'm saying? You for that kind of in the round to sound good, there has to be varying levels of notes that harmonize when they're happening and that you can hear the variation of. So that's why that Silent Night works better. Now, if you are someone that knows what I'm talking about, you know how I promised that I didn't know about math. If you knew about the parcelage, tell me how that works in the comment and on this video when it goes up. Also, please, for the music heads, and maybe this is just a Poodle or Jake question, is tell me the rules in which you sing a carol in round, how it works. What songs sound good? What number to come in on and why Christine's didn't work. I need to figure that out, but I know it didn't work. That's one thing. So we move on to Robin and Cody. And this I thought was hilarious for lots of reasons. Listen, Robin and Cody are in their brand new home, and the home they paid for, and the home that they paid for in the money of the ex-wives. And sorry. I'm trying to delete something so I can get something up. I didn't mean to give you Greta and Robin. That's a little taste of toe from yesterday. But as they're packing or unpacking and getting ready for Christmas, because now we're fully in Christmas, we get Aurora coming over with her beautiful big eyes And she's like, "Hey, guys, you know how I have that friend that I've been hanging out with?" And Robin's like, "Oh, yeah, I know him." Robin's faces as she's like, "Brody? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brody. We like Brody. Brody has been around a little bit." I'm like, she hates fucking Brody. Look at her face as Robin says Brody. She does not like Brody. Now, Robin is quick to be like, Brody's a cowboy. And Cody loves the fact that Brody's a cowboy. Cody loves cowboys. Cody thinks cowboys are a real mask. Cody loves the look of a man on a horse and what it does to people. He's always acknowledged the masculine pull of a cowboy cowboying it up. We've heard that from his own mouth. He believes in the testimony of cowboy to be a direct, first of all, lineage in his life. His father is one, but also the way in which to keep a woman, in that a woman sees the innate grip a cowboy has on land, nature, animals, them, and respects it. Like, then, like, yeah, Cody's entire viewpoint of the world is so specific, almost like, but also easily readable. Cody literally is like, cowboys are just like musicians. You never know if you can trust them. They're kind of like wild boys out there. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's literally the Bon Jovi song, like one, like Dead or Alive. You're not like the first person to think of that. I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. It's it's a guitar. I'm wanted, wanted. Okay. Cody's traditional red pill, all of those kind of like ideas are so interesting. And I like want to piece together how they are, because like his performance on like Special Ops feeds into that. His discussion of his dad feeds into that. All of the ex-wives keep talking about the way that he wanted to be perceived, the way that, he looked. He wanted to like dress a certain way and like be groomed a certain way. All that stuff isn't super like cowboy-y. He can ride a horse, but it's interesting. He loves Brody, and obviously Robin's like, "Nah." Cody just wants a friend. Literally is like, for a second, oh my God, can I have a moment of a different chromosome in here? And at the same time, he needs to have a chromosome that will like let him be a peacock. And most grown men that would be like peers of Cody would make him feel insecure because he would be peacocking and they'd be like, but a Brody who has to like, impress and, be younger gets to have the pleasure of a Cody lecture. Cody wants to lecture. Cody wants to mansplain. And, okay. So having said that, before Brody comes over though, Cody's like, Aurora, does Brody give you that look? The look I give, oh, I can't talk about it. And they're like, what? And he's like, well, the look I give your mother. And we're like, oh, the look that you want to fuck the shit out of her? What is the look? Oh, can we talk about what is the look of adoration? I mean, listen, there's a song, the look of love is in your eyes, but like, what is that look? And like, is it a look of love? Is it a look of lust? I mean, I can break it down. Okay, if I was to look at camera right now with not lust, love. I mean, yeah, the look of love, but that also could be like motherly. Like, maybe if I gave birth or I don't know, like my nieces or nephew that I'm like, oh, that's a look of love. Okay. A look of adoration is what he said. So a look of adoration is like, okay, let me think. What would that be like to adore something? Okay, I'm going to try it. Okay, to adore something. There is okay, to adore something, now I'm doing it. You need there is like a quenchness. Yeah, that's why I say lust, because to adore something, to look at someone with adoration almost begs the object you are looking at to look back at you and give you a sign, because if not, then you're just staring at someone like a Care Bear stare with all of this energy, and then at some point you'll just be empty. And if you are like looking at someone to quench something or want something back, it's hard to be like, is that love or is that wanting something back? And what is that? Lust, attention, validation, to be seen, connection. And I think that, yeah, like, does he give you a look of connection, a look of adoration? I feel like I've gotten looks from adoration. Okay. I feel I've gotten looks over my life, not a lot, by certain men of adoration, but I wouldn't connect that to being like the one or the soulmate or love. Because I think that you can look at adoration at someone who you've like made an idea of in your mind. I'm assuming that Marilyn Monroe walked through this world with a lot of looks of adoration towards her because, God bless, she created and cultivated an image of absolute sex bombness. And so, I'm sure that a lot of people looked at her and was just like, "Ugh." I'm breathing so hard into this mic. You're like, stop it, Chris. But I'm trying to like give someone who's like, you're just like, oh my God, touch me, oh radiant goddess. Oh, look at me, oh radiant goddess, and bequeath on me your divine love, if only for this moment. It's like you're asking someone for something, right? Anyway, so interesting. So he's like, did he do that to you? And she's like, yeah, I totally did that the first time. And then I want to be like, that should also make you feel like that person wants to fuck their shit out of her, you know? Okay, so then they get to what they're going to be doing. Brody comes over and gets to hang out with the whole family. Lucky Brody. He comes on with a cowboy hat. She's like, "Hey, handsome." I was like, "Oh my God, God bless." um, Solly's sollying it up. Ari's Aring it up. Cody's like, "Oh my God, I get to like talk to this guy." Yeah, Brody beelines it. Sorry, Brody. Oh yeah, Brody and Cody. Brody and Cody beeline it together. Brody knows he has to get Cody on his side. Robin is the one he really has to like get by, but it's like if he can master making Cody happy, then Robin will know that she could maybe even have someone to get Cody off of her hands. So anyway, what they're gonna do is decorate trees. Not the main tree downstairs, the family tree, which is the only one that makes sense. But no, they're gonna decorate two dumb trees upstairs. I found that so weird. Like, you're on a reality show. All you have to do is set up easy things that happen in your home. This is your home. You don't even have to get any. Why not leave the important downstairs tree to be the thing that's happening? Because then we go upstairs and guess what? She doesn't even have like a normal tree upstairs. What she has are two tiny, tiny, whiny, like 4-foot trees. So now they have all these people to like decorate these two 4-foot trees. And basically, what has to happen is again, Cody gets to talk. So it gets Cody talking. At one point, Cody's like, "So is the bigger tree upstairs or, downstairs in the basement?" Because I'm sorry, not in the basement. It's like this extra garage that they show us with all of their shit. And they show us all of this stuff to make us know that they be spending money. They Robin tries to blame it on Cody. She's like, "It's all Cody's stuff." No, Cody had all those wives, and so Cody just would have four of everything. No, three of everything. No, four. Four of everything. And yeah, no, there's no dolls here. There's no dolls in any of these red containers. All Cody's things. You're like, all right, where are the dolls? So at this point, they exist only in this extra storage area. And they have, Brody, who has a cowboy hat on, is only too excited to show off his strength. We're like, go get that shit. He won't. He doesn't. They even ask him to. And they're going to make these little tiny trees be erected with just not nary a piece of tinsel. Then Cody is like, oh my God, in this bag I see mistletoe. And we know exactly what he wants, which is like to hang that shit over his dick and have Robin get on her knees and just like blowing out and be like, Brody, if you do it right, this is what Aurora will do for you. No, not really. But that kind of is what is it. He wants at least Robin to kiss him. And Robin's like, fuck you. No, I hate you. No, stop making me do anything sexual or romantic, especially in front of people, especially not like it's weird to do it in front of my daughter's boyfriend. What are we trying to do? Rub our like dicks in his face and be like, this is what love is? We don't have to. Remember, there's a whole part of Cody that is for looks, that wants things to look right. This is the part like Christina Janelle said this a lot. And there is like a physical aspect to that, but there's also the veneer aspect to it. And there's also like all we saw of Cody of being like, our family's so great and polygamous is the way and love should be multiplied, not divided. All of that for years was just the veneer that Cody wanted it to look good all the time when it wasn't. Like Cody wanted all his whole family except for Robin and Robin's kids to live in abject horror just for him to look good. That was Cody's like MO. So why do you, he's still doing it. He still wants it to look good. He still wants his marriage to look good, either in front of us, in front of Brody and Aurora. And it's funny because like Robin, who seemingly got it before and definitely seemed to like allow him some, has absolutely drawn a line and won't do it now. And she sometimes is like, I know I should be open to it more. But it's interesting. It's like, well, girl, if you liked him, if you were romantically into him, if what he was doing made you happy, bring you joy, wasn't embarrassing, creepy, cringy, I think it'd be somewhat authentically organic in the moment for you to be like, ah, babe, is it? Is it mistletoe? Let's see. I don't know, but just in case, like it wouldn't be that hard, right? Like sickly sweet. I mean, listen, hopefully it would come a little more like authentic than the one I gave you right now. But like you can see a world in which a person who wasn't like miserly with their affections and or in their own weird head and or was present enough and liked the person talking to them enough to just go with the flow and be like kind of playful. I wonder what she gets in holding back that from him. It's in my mind, she gets to make him feel insecure. And maybe that's a way of getting him to, let her call the shots in some way. If he feels insecure around her and sort of being like stingy with her affection and physical affection might do that. I would need Cody to clarify because his own ego would want us to know that Robin off camera is a different Robin with him or not in public. that yes, he acknowledges that Robin is like Jekyll and Hyde, honey, that like, she's a lady in the streets and a freak in the bed, honey, but like you have to say that the best possible way. Like I almost feel like Cody's own ego should want us to know that she actually is sexually attracted to me, folks. I didn't just get divorced from the one lady that has no problem telling me that she's into me, Christine. Janelle, I guess, was like, whatever. He always was like, Janelle's into my six pack abs. I guess Janelle was also like six pack. I mean, whatever. I don't know. And maybe he has a six pack abs now just to get Janelle back. But yeah, I feel like Robin has an end game. And so when I watch her work, I try and trace like what she's doing, the moves. What moves are she making to get to the position to like checkmate? You know what I'm saying? I just don't trust her. Um, so then he has like a conversation with Brody, which is the weirdest fucking conversation. Brody seems, of a certain type, certain type on a farm and a cow. And it's found out that he has given Aurora a knife. It's to protect her from everyone, from this, from that, from me. And Cody like jumps on the idea that like Brody or any true man should accept the provider protector mentality for his woman to the extent of protecting her even from himself. And like the valor in which Cody like talks about this really heady concept and what it means is like it's murky because we're all like, okay, back up. Cody and Brody. Are you both telling us and are you both agreeing that Brody is a good guy for giving Aurora a knife so that Aurora can protect herself from Brody if he was to, I don't know, try to sexually assault her? Is that what I'm hearing? I just want to know. Is it like are you trying to say that yeah, any good man's going to give his woman a gun because you never know if you're going to drink enough whiskey one night if you too become a predator. Like I just want to like that was where my mind went. Am I alone? I would like to be alone. I would like to know that like I mean, listen, I hate to say it. I wouldn't mind to be told that like I'm fucked up and like that's at all like not at all what normal people would think or like that's not what the underlying thing was or that they meant something completely fucking different. But I will tell you that because like all the things because I don't have a dad like that because I've like never like dated a cowboy or like from, that part of America like can someone clarify what that meant? Okay. It's just that it's like interesting because Brody feels confused by Cody's sentiment and tries to be like, yeah, totally. No, a man's place is to protect her. Always. I always been thinking that. And Cody's, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Cody's like looking at him and sort of like biting his bottom lip. And then we get Cody saying, I was not discriminating at all with any of my other dumb daughter's husbands. And we like literally saw him with Tony. We saw him talk to Caleb Caleb and Cody were had a bromance, right? And obviously Maddie hates Cody and Maddie and Caleb are married. And so just like Cody wants to pretend that he never was in love with his wives, he wants to pretend that he didn't give a shit about who his other daughters married and he wasn't discerning. Like, whatever you think you're doing to Brody right now, like, you spent so much more time with Caleb and you knew that Caleb was such a good guy for Maddie. I'm not going to stand here and be like, Caleb's a great guy, but I do think that for the time and place and who I know Maddie is, I do think that they're, two peas in a pod and whatnot and have a strong relationship. And I certainly hope, I think he has some kidney issues and I want him to have, a happy, healthy, long life. Having said that, like that's a lie, Cody. You were actually whether you knew it or not, you spent time with people enough that like you were discriminating. They knew the culture of the family. You loved Caleb. Okay, so yeah, it's funny because I feel like I just keep seeing him grasping onto new truths in order for him to feel good about his current status. And I know I've brought it up, as I watch him try to like grasp on to what feels like straws or grasp on to like, like low hanging branches or whatever metaphor, you would think that Robin would try and help either by throwing him a bone or, like helping him out, but she doesn't ever. Like she literally says anytime anyone is romantic, Cody wants to be romantic. It's always like a convo of PDA with her. She knows him very well. Like she knows how to pacify him in the moment to moment and stroke his ego. In the fact that she won't also can mean that she's exhausted, which we could see and understand why. And then, yeah, then I would wonder what her end game is because she's going to have to find someone else to pick up the slack. She's going to have him changed, or she's going to will him to change, or she's going to have to get out. If there was another woman, maybe, like he'd have, like some of that attention filled, whether they would then, form a union, an allyship and cut out Robin. Obviously, one can only hope and dream. We could hope and pray that God changes Cody, opens up his heart and mind so that he doesn't want and need so much validation and or has a little more security and or like comes to accountability with what he's done to his family, is able to reach out to his kids, form actual lasting bonding relationships with people that are older than the age of like 14, that in those relationships, as you share like commonality, real authentic spirit emotions, will you also be validated? Because love comes with those kinds of relationships. And if there was a little more love coming from, I don't know, the other humans he made on God's green earth, like maybe Robin wouldn't have to, get on her knees every night. I don't know. But she's having to do something. Like she's not doing anything on camera, but but the ways in which she has to do things is probably like multiple ways because she still is buying dolls. So I'm assuming, is picking up slack somewhere. She's just exhausted. She looks exhausted. I wonder why she doesn't like Brody. I wonder why she like squinted her eyes when she said Brody. I wonder if Brody reminded her of Cody, you know? And I wonder if there's a part of her that's like, oh God, I'm just gonna like make my daughter like the same fate of just having to like kiss this dumb guy's ass for the rest of her life. Make sure that he's in a good mood just to make sure that she can like live right. Ugh. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. But yeah, I can't wait to like find out what happens. Obviously, we have the showdown of Coyote Pass, which is still happening. And also they teased us, so we know at some point, which still feels so weird, and I don't know how they get there, that David and Cody like go-kart racing. So yeah. I mean, like, I don't know, would be like at this point would be more shocking is if Cody had to sit down and an intervention with the entire lineage. If Cody was forced to sit in a room with all of his children and he was made not to be able to talk, but just to listen and have no defense, and also no need for Robin to be there. That's like what like that's like the intervention slash tell all episode. I would die finale episode to see. And I know that like not all the kids want to be on it. But if you were like, no, listen, you don't have to be on anything again, but you off a platform, you will get to tell Cody whatever you want to say. He doesn't get to say anything. Also, you get to edit the episode and have like, a producer will give you a cut of it and you will have final say of anything you don't want in it or whatever. But we do get to see someone have to be forced to listen to you guys speak about your experience because of his actions. I want that. Don't you? Like I would want that. I want to see it. I think it'd be really healing. All right, let me see what you guys said. Ha, I hated David being annoying to Janelle about dating. Like, need a man for what? Go away, David. You are annoying. I know. Also, yeah, that's the thing, David. These women don't need men. They don't need men. They've already had a life. They have kids. They have homes. They have careers, whatever it is. They don't need men to survive. You just like to think that your companionship and like company is great in theory. But the funny thing is, as she looks at you, David, in her mind, she's like, I'd rather be alone than have to listen to your opinions. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I really wish they would just roll the tapes every time either Cody or Robin lies. I know. I think it's a control thing why Robin doesn't like the boyfriend. She doesn't want to lose the power over her daughter now that she has a new influence. Yes, I agree with you. But at the same time, I'm assuming, yeah, she also might want her daughter to marry like someone of incredibly high esteem and wealth and whatnot. She might want, one of those kind of princes for her daughters. And we don't know what Brody is bringing to the table. Or like what Brody's family is. I just took my first solo trip. It was amazing, but it's definitely not for everyone. I couldn't picture Mary doing it. I don't think she even grocery shops alone. Yeah, here's the thing. Everyone should do it once. Like everyone should solo travel once. Like everyone should be have a service industry job once. It's just important. It's like life lessons that influence who you are so that the next time you move in this world, you have a better understanding of yourself and of other people. My guys, can you believe it? That has been the end of the episode. On the docket, obviously, as I've said, Love is Blind. The tell all is today. We're going to talk about it on Friday, which is Halloween, October 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm trying to broadcast on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm trying to figure out how to do Substack. I wish it wasn't so hard, believe me. But those are the ways I'm doing it now. I'm posting my schedule on my Facebook group, Vanity Fair. So make sure you go. Vanity Fair on Facebook is the group that has discussion stuff if you want to talk about the show or shows you're watching or I don't know, any dumb thing in your life, honey, or, adjacent. Chris Farah is my personal page you can like. I'm personal. Don't like my personal page. It's the page that you can like on Facebook where I do stream from if you're on Facebook and you're into that. Of course, YouTube, you might be watching now. Please like and subscribe this video. Also, hit the notification bell and make sure you know when I go live here, although there's Scooge up and about YouTube. Of course, Substack. Like I said, I'm building a Substack. It's been really, really fun. I'm going over some of the beauty products and looks of some of the shows we're watching. So if you watched Toe the other day, then you know I was somewhat obsessed with Chloe using a Summer Fridays lip balm. And what I think is the Bosia illuminating black mask that Petia used. So there's some stuff there. And finally, I'm at Chris L. Farah on Instagram and at Chris L. Farah on TikTok. Ugh, can you believe I have to say all this stuff? How obnoxious. I am truly sorry, but that is the world in which we live. And it's like, I, need algorithm love, if you don't mind, a little like sharing, a little caring, a little liking, a little poking. I do miss a poke. So yeah, that's all that's on the agenda. I certainly hope that you guys are doing well, that you're happy, that you're healthy, that you're like when I say take care of yourselves, you have to sort of realign yourself. And I think seasonally, it always bears a good moment to be like, am I taking care of myself in the best ways? And are there some things I can add or subtract that maybe I don't need or need anymore? Like maybe some areas are louder, like whether that's taking care of yourself. I kind of mentioned this when I was talking about 90 Day Fiance yesterday because we were talking about macros, micros, that kind of gets into meal planning, but that gets into if this can be a stressful time for you, taking care of yourself can be meal prepping, and what a great time to make like some chili or some soups on a Sunday, freeze them for the week. That's like a version of taking care of yourself. So sometimes it feels weird to just be like, take care of yourself. Because what does that mean? It also means, which I hate to do this, but I have to do it, is like make a bunch of fucking doctor's appointments. Sometimes I have to like have a friend be like, hey, will you make me make all the doctor's appointments I need to make? The physicals, the teeth, the gynos, the breasts, all the things you have to make. It's just, that's a version of taking care of yourself. And like making your bed's a version of taking care of yourself. And plotting in rest time is a version of taking care of yourself. Definitely saying no is a version of taking care of yourself. And not only saying no, period. The reason why it can be hard being like, say no, and really not emphasize the period is that anytime you say no the because cancels out the no and or gives the person listening free range to judge whether that was a good excuse. And in their mind, if they wanted it to be a yes, it's not a good excuse. You know what I'm saying? So do yourself a favor to allow no to be, a complete thought, and be kind to yourself, like take care of yourself by knowing you don't owe anyone anything more than your best you can do. The honest question is, are you doing your best? If you're doing your best, you take care of yourself so that you continue to do your best. And the way you take care of yourself is to make sure that there are boundaries in places and that you are respecting yourself and what is good for you. And to do that, you have to be aware of such things and also like be in a constant flux of what you need. And that is like a shift. Sometimes it is like, yeah, you make a goddamn bunch of chili because it's good and you can put it away and that's it for a week. And sometimes it's like, oh no, I have to have fast food for 4 days in a row because I can't cook. But maybe it's making healthier choices of like, I don't know what it'd be. I mean, I'm spitballing, going to Chipotle and trying to get, some great chicken tacos with some corn tortillas. Just having some, like guacamole, rice, beans, protein, vegetables. But like I can't cook right now for whatever reason. I actually can, but so yeah, take care of yourselves. Find the ways in which to do that so that you can take care of others, because we're like about to get into that time that's like a giving time, like the time in which we want to like share our spirit and share our soul and like make other people feel good. Because it makes us feel good. And there's like a seasonal aspect to that. But also because I think intrinsically we know that this can be a hard time for people that don't have fill in the blank: family, love, money, family, financial security, home, secure homes, whatever it is, secure food. The list goes on. And like the last thing I'll say is about this is like why it's so hard for me to like understand how Cody and Robin could be arguably in a perfect love soulmate relationship where they found love and they're so obsessed with each other and this is what it is and they never knew and they're just fucking that. They know they have that. They know it's precious because they both have been in relationships where they didn't supposedly have that. So now knowing its preciousness, knowing how other people long for it and don't have it, how you can't have like empathy and sensitivity for others baffles me. And in the space of like the Christmas spirit or the holiday spirit and all the beautiful like religions that celebrate things during this time of giving and acceptance and forgiveness, it's like what we're doing for others is important because we understand A, we're all one, we're sharing this life together. B, because we affect each other and we care about that. And we believe in a higher power or a higher connective spirit energy that unites us all. So it's important for us, for others, to also feel happiness, security, freedom, love, warmth, food in their stomachs, all that, right? So it's a cycle to be able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And in doing so, I think you open up your heart to experience other people. And that sensitivity, I think, allows other people, you to connect to someone else. Because I think there's a beautiful like connection in like a sensitive vulnerability that is shared between someone, and the knowing of having something and the knowing of not having something can be that connective tissue. So anyway, having said that, we're all moving in this holiday spirit with whatever we have and whatever we have not. And I know that I have like a lot of ways in which I am a version of the haves, but there's a lot of ways in which I'm a version of the have nots. And the Christmas and or holiday family tradition, all getting together, sharing that kind of camaraderie is a perfect example of like showing like a dichotomy of having both and having and not having, where you can have like a beautiful home and not a lot of family, or you can have a beautiful family and like maybe have food insecurity. So it's so important to be able to see everyone at this time and give love to everyone at this time, because we all see what we have and appreciate what we have and long for others to have what we have. Don't be a Cody, don't be a Robin. Take care of yourself and one another. Stand up for what you believe and make art. Yeah. Again, maybe the art's the chili. Maybe the art is that in this chili, you'll add a little special something like a little cinnamon. It wasn't in maybe the recipe, but it spoke to you. And so you added a dash. And then I don't know, when it came out, you got some like chopped up cilantro and you like dressed it. And it's like some chives, honey. What a work of art. There's just smallness in things and there's bigness in things. So you can just always explore the options of how to celebrate concepts, right? The concept of taking care of yourself, like I've said, or the concept of making art. And sort of like the cycle of why it's important, because as you do it, other people experience it and then we all feel better. We all feel better. That's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, love should be multiplied, not divided. Okay, I'll go. If you're in the LA area, guess what? I get to do 2 improv shows next week, also in the LA area at Groundlings. One is Monday at 7:30. It's an improv lab show at G3 Studio Stage. And then one is Thursday. I think it's Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, 7:30 as well. So that's coming up in the docket. Of course, I've already talked about, we'll talk the Love is Blind finale on Halloween, which is on Friday. And then I'll release a schedule for next week coming up on all the things I said I released it, which is the Substack, the Facebook, all of that. I'll talk to you all later, my loves. Thank you for being here. Honestly, thank you for all of your help and like this video. Okay, bye.